Nigel Farage is currently in the hot seat, from what I understood. And this is coming under scrutiny for breaking promises in the British parliamentary system. I am a little bit confused because I'm not an expert on British politics, but we're going to take a look. To the Traveling Clat, your sweet Zionist prince, your favorite white colonizer. You can get the mug down below in the description at travelingclat.com. And let us take a look at this story my team sent me. It all makes sense now. 25 grand dinners with Pakistanis appointing a Muslim home secretary afraid to alienate Islam won't deport rape gang communities. The Muslim bloc have found their new home. Reform. UK. Let's take a look.
But the nub of it is, we have a Muslim population in Britain growing by about 75% every 10 years. Right? That's just where we are. Mm-hmm. If we politically alienate the whole of Islam, we will lose. We'll lose.
So how does one include
We
them?
will lose. By 2050, goodness knows what kind of a terrible state we're going to be in. Mm-hmm. But the nub of it is...
Okay, that's not an impossibly horrible point. It isn't, by the way. It's right. But it doesn't mean you go into appeasement mode, right? That the idea is not to appease, but you want to project what your ideals are for your society onto these people who may be misguided. You understand what I'm saying? It's not, you don't try to appease these people. It's your country at the end of the day. Nigel Farage here in another clip admits he kicked Rupert Lowe out of reform because he wanted to deport communities covering up rape gangs. After all, the lies about bullying getting the police involved, here's the real reason. Farage needs Muslim votes.
You know, people think, oh, Farage has done it. We'll just set a party up. It'll be marvellous. We'll sweep the next election. It just isn't as easy as that. Now, does he have a profile on X? Yes, he does. Is Elon going to support him? Probably. But you see, when he stood up and said that we've got to consider the mass deportation of entire communities, including those born in the United Kingdom, that just moves way beyond a point of reasonableness, of decency, of morality. And that was the moment at which, I realized we just had to get rid of him and get rid of him as quickly as we could. And I think in terms of the way we dealt with that, we were probably more brutal than the other parties. But you know what? That's the way it's going to be. Thank you. People think, oh, Farage has done it. We'll just set a party up. It'll be marvellous.
I think actually, I remember I spoke to Tommy Robinson about Nigel Farage, and he kind of called this a bit. I'm not going to lie. He kind of called that this is kind of how he was going to behave. It's hard for me to chime in because I'm not so well-versed on Nigel Farage's politics. I know anything is better than the Labour Party right now. I know that for a fact. But the problem is, what are your choices in the UK other than Nigel Farage? What's a sensible choice? From what I've understood, we don't have it. Or you guys don't have it.
I have chosen to speak to you today from the farm because places like this represent what proper Britain is about. Hard work, responsibility, effort, duty, stewardship. This is the England I know, and this is the England that I love. On a farm, you don't think in election cycles or headlines or polling. You think in seasons. You think in generations, in what you leave behind to those who come after you. And that's why, here on the farm, I am now launching Restore Britain as a national political party. I'm now going to dedicate my life to finding, organising, funding, and providing hundreds of qualified candidates to present to the British people at the next general election. This process has already started, with invitations being issued to patriots in aligned political parties, Reform, the Conservatives, the SDP, Advance, and more. In local politics, we will work in partnership with localised political parties, such as Great Yarmouth First, that have the best interests of their residents at heart, combining our forces at the next general election. The men and women standing for Restore in that election will not be politicians. I promise you that. They will not be failed ministers. They will not be tainted by failures of the past. They will be from business, from the military, from science, from medicine, from education, from industry, representing real communities up and down the country. Every single one will be from well outside the existing political establishment, and every single one will understand the difficult decisions that need to be taken. Because there are no easy fixes. I'm not going to tell you comforting lies about the condition of our country. I have only ever been honest with the British people, and I will be straight with you now. What is necessary will be incredibly painful. But for the first time in a very long time, voters will have a genuine alternative which is truthful with them about the scale of what now has to be done. The first priority is to control who comes to our country, and more importantly, who stays in our country. Restore Britain will not just stop mass immigration, we will reverse it. Every single illegal migrant will be securely detained and then deported. The message will be unrelenting. If you are in this country without our permission, you will be removed. For the foreseeable future, far more people must leave Britain than arrive. If a foreign national is unable to speak English, lives in social housing, claims benefits, refuses to work, fails to integrate, commits crime, or even actively hates our way of life and wishes to do us harm, then they must leave or be made to leave.
I'm down with this guy.
Restore Britain will make our communities safe again for women and children. That I promise you. If that means millions go, then millions go. We're constantly told that the economy needs vast swathes of low-skilled migrants. We know that's simply not true. What we need is to get millions of healthy Brits back into work. A radical overhaul of how welfare is delivered. Protecting those in genuine need, but not funding healthy shirkers to live off the back of hard-working men and women. If you can work, you must work. It really is that simple. Restore Britain will be abundantly clear. If you consistently refuse work, then you will lose your benefits. We will punish indolence, and more importantly, we will reward success. We will provide vast economic incentives for men and women to start businesses, generate opportunities, build wealth, and create self-sufficient families. Standing here today on the farm, I know exactly what it means to deal with energy bills, labour shortages, regulation, unproductive paperwork, planning restrictions, tax, and endless uncertainty. The state has definitively become the enemy of the people.
Seems like it.
Restore Britain will burn away suffocating taxes on work and enterprise. We will slash unnecessary regulation. We will dismantle bloated quangos and the overbearing HR culture. We must crush parasitic Britain. We will restore long-term, stable, logical policy so that businesses can plan and invest and grow again. But Restore Britain is about much more than numbers on a spreadsheet. It's about who we are as a nation and who we are as a people. Britain is not just an economy. Britain is not just an idea. Britain is not just a passport. Britain is a nation. Britain is a people, our people. And Restore Britain will never allow that to be erased. We will celebrate our Christian heritage and the identity that built and shaped this country. Responsibility, restraint, forgiveness, duty, and fairness. In short, a high-trust society. That will mean defending our culture. That will mean resisting the relentless creep of radical Islam. That will mean banning the burqa, outlawing Sharia law, blocking cousin marriages, and reimposing our Christian-based rule of law. A Restore Britain government would legislate to ensure that no halal or kosher slaughter on British soil. This is Britain, and we will do things our way. This political party now exists for one reason: to restore Britain, to make it a better, safer, and more prosperous place for British men and women to raise their families. It will be difficult and it will be painful, but I assure you, it is possible. I hope you will consider joining me on this journey and becoming a member of our party. It is our country, it is now our collective responsibility to act. Together, we will restore Britain. Thank you.
I don't know what his issue is with kosher slaughter, but I'm down with the whole message. If anybody doesn't vote for him, something's wrong with you. Something truly is wrong with you. He is the only option. Rupert Lowe, if I lived in the UK, you would sincerely have my vote, and that's coming from a Jew. I don't keep kosher, and you're going to make the lives of Jews very difficult by banning kosher slaughter. I don't really understand the... Oh, my camera is sliding under my computer. Sorry, folks. I just moved my whole set. Now everything's falling apart. God damn it. Sorry, one sec, guys. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, god damn. Sorry, guys. One second. As I was saying before my camera so rudely interrupted me, I don't know what his issue is with kosher slaughter on British soil. I didn't really understand that point. But, you know, luckily the UK is not so far from France. There's plenty of kosher butcher shops in Paris. Y'all have to get by. And I'm talking specifically to British Jews right now. You guys let radical Islam rise for so long there without doing shit about it. You don't have another option. This guy's your only fucking choice. So, yeah, kosher food's gonna be a little more expensive there. It is what it is. Like, it is what it is. You need this guy. You need this guy right now. You need this man. If you don't have this man, there won't be a British Jewish culture anymore. It'll be done. Here's footage of the armed police raiding my home late on Friday night thanks to Zia Yusuf's lie, now Farage's choice to be Home Secretary, all supported by the Reform leadership. Supported by Farage. On the 14th of March, 9:30, armed police arrived at my home unannounced, 3 vehicles with 4 armed officers. I am a farmer. I own guns, all entirely legally and properly. The previous day, I had arranged with the police to voluntarily give up my guns because of Yusuf's lies. I was not impressed and to have armed police suddenly arrive on my doorstep late at night. The officers stayed until 11:38. They confiscated my guns and left. It took me so much time as I have a large connection, so a wheelbarrow was required. Of course, everything was dropped and I got my guns back. Yusuf's lies put my family through this ordeal. Supported every way by the Reform leadership. Today we found out it all happened because Farage didn't like my comment on mass deporting foreign rapists. The day he announces Yusuf as his potential Home Secretary to lead the police. If he did it to me, he'll do it to you too. This man is not fit to lead the Home Office. None of them are fit to be in government. So here they are raiding his farm. I did warn about this. For a long time, though. I said Muslims in the UK, if you don't get your act together, lefties in the UK, if you don't get your act together, a character like this is going to pop up. And a character like this, by the way, isn't necessarily great for everybody. He's right. It's going to take a lot of hardship to get the UK back on its feet. It's not necessary. Ooh, little flies attacking me. What the hell's going on? I don't know what the hell's going on with this video. I'm getting distracted by random shit. But it was never going to be a simple milquetoast guy. You know, it was never going to be the middle of the round guy. It was always going to be somebody like this who's going to come and shake things up. It sucks that kosher food is going to be outlawed, but it is what it is. You need this.
Way any man on this earth would be able to stand and burn a Quran in my face. There's just no way that would happen. Like, I would definitely choose violence.
But you accept then that, Adam, you would accept then that you would have broken the law and be convicted for it?
Oh, 1,000,000%. Yeah. I'd accept that.
So why?
100%.
And that's because the Quran matters so much to you that you would be willing to potentially go to prison for a violent act if someone was burning it in front of you?
To be honest with you, I've been to prison for less than that, so yeah, that's very important. Yeah.
I think your response is the problem. I think if you say any mocking of your religion is going to result in violent attacks on that person, that has such a chilling effect on free speech in this country, the ability, the right to mock.
There is no free speech. What's this free speech joke you keep talking about? Right. There's no free speech. Islam is being bullied. That's what's happening. Islam is being bullied. It's been happening for long. And now people just think they can just do anything and anywhere. And no, yeah, religion.
Well, but if the anything anywhere was to, say, in a religious studies lesson, draw an image of the Prophet Muhammad, not in a mocking way, but literally just draw, what he may or may not have looked like, should that be allowed?
No, it should not, because it's not allowed for us to do.
Well, but you're not me, and I'm not you.
If someone's doing that in a non-mocking way, maybe we could teach them and tell them why we don't do it, and we find. But
you might do that, and they are within their rights. That school might be within their rights. So that's absolutely understandable. That's your religious faith. Those are your religious traditions and cultures. We don't abide by that. This is a secular school. This is what we're doing.
Then I wouldn't have nothing to do with that school. There's no way any man on this earth would be able to stand.
I think we talked about this recently in the Douglas Murray video. It's like they don't respect many of these people who are in your country, in the UK. They do not respect your local laws. That's why you need somebody like a Rupert Lowe, member of parliament, to come and kick a lot of these people out. You've needed somebody like him for a long time now. A message for reform members. I believe that you're good, decent, honest people who want the best for our country. I campaigned alongside many of you. I consider many of you friends. I still do. But after hearing Farage's attack on me today, I simply do not believe that supporting the current regime leadership is why you got into politics. A party of Robert Jenrick, a man who has a track record of importing endless Afghanis, spread illegals around the country, expanding our vile migrant hotel industry. The party of Nadhim Zahawi, someone who wanted to force the COVID vaccine on a healthy population against their will. And Farage himself, I once thought he was the man to lead us. I honestly did. And then reform leadership tried to put me in prison. I would be there today if they had their way, rotting away, possibly dead thanks to the Muslim gangs who now run our jails. Why did they do it? He just admitted today that it was because I wanted to deport foreign rape gangs, where I lost my place, members and their complicit family members. Not for the supposed crime, but for that. They abused the justice system to imprison me because I wanted the mass deportation of animalistic savages who game-raped young girls and those who enabled it. They tried to ruin my life because I advocated for that. Take me away from my family, my wife, my children, my grandchildren, because I spoke for those deportations. My family home was raided by armed police at 9 p.m. on a Friday night because of what they did. Do you trust these people? Honestly. If you agree, these actions and the Reform Party is for you. If you want to build a better party, an honorable party, a decent party, you now have a genuine alternative in Restore Britain. We will not get everything right. Mistakes will be made, but I promise you one thing. We will be honest and we'll do this honestly. You are very welcome to follow my many friends. Here's the problem. I don't think that a Restore Britain party is going to get the vote. I'm not going to pretend to be some expert on what's it called? On British politics at all. But I think they're going to have a very, very hard time winning. This is what they posted, Restore Britain. The day after we launched, Restore Britain is polled at 10% ahead of the Lib Dems. There are 3 years until the election. We believe that we can win. Are you with us? Restore Britain, Tories, Labour, Green, Reform. And Restore Britain is there. I don't know. I have a hard time believing that they would win. I really do. I have a hard time believing that they'd be able to pull it off. But maybe tweak the messaging a bit, get in with the influencers like Trump did, try to make a splash, and maybe, just maybe, you'll have a chance at winning, Mr. Rupert. You got my vote. Maybe adjust your take on the kosher thing, too. Maybe make your Jews your allies, less your enemies. I think it'd probably help your messaging. They're suffering under radical Islam also in the UK. Just a suggestion to tweak it. It's your country at the end of the day. Do whatever you want, but adjust it, work with the Jews. I think it'll be towards your benefit. I don't think that outlawing kosher butchers is going to do you any favors in the UK. Don't do it just for the sake of doing it. You need allies. You need friends. Get the Jewish money. Get the Jewish vote. I know it's not a lot of the vote, but get it. Work with them. Work with the Indians. Work with the Hindus. Adjust your messaging a bit, and you might have a chance. And let's hope maybe a Rubio 2028, right? Rubio 2028 and a Rupert and Rubio bringing the West back. See you guys in the next one. Love you a long time. Goodbye, class.